Cool, man. Well, congratulations on getting signed and your new single. We'll be into that in a second. But first, here at Bionic Buzz, we're all about people's passions. I don't know where your passion for music kind of came from, that led you on this musical journey. Was it a certain album you heard, a certain live performance you saw, or something that was just natural for you as a child?
So it's actually funny because my background is Pakistani, so my parents are both Pakistanis that immigrated here in the 70s. So I grew up listening to Indian classical music and Pakistani music when I was little, and it always just had a cool beat, and hearing, it's very percussive because they use they call this a dole drum, which is a traditional Indian classical drum, or tablas. So just hearing that, it's funny, yeah, it's all percussive, but I'm still a guitarist. I'm not a drummer whatsoever. But yeah, it was cool. I got exposed to that type of music at a very young age. And then my dad also, he basically adapted to the American culture. So he showed me I remember when we first bought a CD player back in the 80s, and he had Led Zeppelin. Oh, wow. The first album, and then on top of that, he bought Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd. So it was just cool. But I honestly did not pick up a guitar until I was a teenager. So I would say roughly about 14, 15. Mm-hmm. And my dad always had a classical nylon acoustic guitar just in the attic. And I never really had any interest in it until as I got older. And I remember going to a garage sale when I was 13, and I picked up two albums. I picked up Stone Temple Pilots Plush, Core, which Plush is on. Yeah. And then I picked up Alice in Chains Facelift.
Yeah.
So those two albums, because I'm into Seattle-based grunge music, and of course Stone Temple Pilots being LA rock, but that shit connected with me, and here I am.
Yeah.
Now a guitarist
hey
in the
man,
band.
Sounds like Teen Spirit did it for me. I saw it at 11 years old, and I was like, I want to grow my hair long and be a musician.
Yeah.
I attempted to play drums like Dave Grohl. I wasn't that good though. It's David's joining us now, but yeah, that's cool.
Oh,
hey David.
How's it going?
Hey, good man. So I'm gonna say the same question for you, man. We're already diving into this interview being recorded. Here at Bionic Buzz, we're all about people's passion, man. Where'd your passion for music kind of come from that led you on this musical journey? That was a certain album inspired, a certain live performance, or something that was just natural for you as a child?
I think for me, it's just sort of having a creative output. I just naturally wanted to create and have something that I could. I think when I was much younger, it was Legos, right? That helped me take sort of the energy that I had. I was a very energetic child, had trouble sitting still, and channel it into something where I could be creative and sort of use that energy. And at first, like I said, it was Legos, and my dad pushing hard on me to be an engineer. And then I was over at my buddy's house, and we listened to the Mark Thomas, Tom and Travis show, and he showed me how to play Damn It, and then I just got addicted to playing guitar, and that's what I basically did to create Moved On.
I dig it. All right, well, let's dive into your new single, Every Now and Then. I guess let's talk about the recording and writing process first. I always like hearing the fun stories about how a song gets put together,
Yeah, Cam, do you want to start since you kind of started the riff?
Yeah. So I started with with kind of that main intro riff that you hear with the cool double time chord progression, and I then came up with the bridge. But it's I showed Dave these two kind of broken riffs. And I had writer's block, to be honest, man. I mean, Dave, we wrote it during the pandemic, right? Or was it a little bit before?
Okay, I was going to ask if it was going to be during the pandemic.
Oh, Cam, I think you wrote that way back. Oh, and then I sort of came in during the pandemic and finished it up.
Well, I anticipated the pandemic, about to come because I can predict the future, maybe. But dude, seriously, I was stuck. I was bummed, and I sought help from Dave, and I gave it to Dave, and I'm like, dude, can you just take this and run with it? And he fucking did, man. He he took that main guitar riff, wrote that lead line that you hear in the in the single Today, and he absolutely wrote the vocal parts too. And Jonah, our vocalist, fine-tuned him and everything, but Dave came up, I came up with the foundation, I guess, but Dave just made it exponentially better and more creative. So did we lose him just now, or is he still there? No.
Yeah, he's there.
Okay. So anyways, it was just something that I was just sitting on, and I was like, this song has a lot of potential, but I don't want to give up on it. So let me pass the baton to someone else and see what they can do.
It looks like we're getting another special guest joining. Let's see who it is.
It's Dave too.
Oh wait, is it 2 Daves on?
No, we only have one Dave. But...
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, we did lose him.
My computer seems to struggle a lot with Zoom, so I switched to my phone.
I'll
go like this. Is that better? All right.
Yeah.
Right set up. There you go.
Now we're good.
You can predict the future. Look at you, man.
Yeah. Look at that. I have super magical powers if Deer Spring doesn't work out. So yeah, Dave, I was basically telling him that I took that main intro riff and gave it to you, and you wrote that cool lead part and wrote the vocal parts and everything, and you made it into what the song is today, basically. So it's just kind of transitioning everything over to you.
I don't know. You had that riff for a while, and we had jammed on it a bunch. But I think we kind of didn't know where to take it, or weren't sure that it was that exciting enough that it warranted being on one of our records. Mm-hmm. And then I had you probably don't even know this, Cam, but I had Marty over one time after I got my recording setup finally worked out at my old apartment in spring. And Marty came over and he brought his Jag bass, and he was like, I want to lend this to you because now you got a setup and you don't have a bass to play. And that day he just immediately threw those fast up-tempo punk drums over the beginning riff, and then tracked a crazy bass line. And I was like, yo, this is sick. And then that's sort of off with writing the rest of the riffs, and eventually just once I was comfortable recording my own vocals, just doing a vocal test one day on the song. And ultimately, the lyrics I just kind of crapped out on the spot wound up being really inspiring. And that kind of kicked off the whole process with Jonah and finishing it. And then we went to record it, and, Nick told us that it wasn't a song, and we rewrote it.
Oh, yeah.
I love stories like this, man.
Yeah.
But hey, now it's out, and you got a great music video for it. I mean, you guys are from Washington, D.C. I went to college at American University, used to live in D.C. for a long time.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
It was fun seeing a lot of old familiar places like the Black Cat and stuff. So I guess talk about putting together the music video for it,
Yeah, I think what was sick about that was we found a music video producer that through our friends who we kind of all tangentially knew but weren't that close to yet, named Carter Luthium. He's got his own band and project called Carter Lou in the Project that I think a few of us have played with before. And when we linked up with him, we were really just looking to do sort of a audio tree style video, which ended up being this video that we dropped before every now and then for our previous single, but we recorded a live performance in studio. And then he was sort of if you guys want, we could try to, get 2 videos in the same day if we're pretty efficient, and just set things up differently, maybe use some of the same location, but, could be an efficient way to get some more content made. And we were in the process of recording the record. I think we were just sort of well, we know we want this song to be one of the singles. I don't know that it lends itself to some in-depth story making so much as it does to us showcasing our personalities in the band. So we were let's give that a shot. And we ended up recording that video the same day that we recorded our Dumb Luck live performance. But then we went back and did another day of shooting because we were well, what is this video about though? Is it just us performing? And we were why don't we just view this with our record coming out as our introduction to all these new fans, and say this is who we are, this is where we're from, this is like the music scene that inspires us, and just sort of like welcome them into our little family.
I dig that. I mean, you just got signed to, you know, Open Your Ears Records, so it is like a whole new chapter, new audience for you. So I like that. Very nice.
Definitely is, man.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add, man? Or
no. Just it was really cool to work with Carter. He actually helped us with, like, you know, the Dumb Luck video every now and then, and also Newspeak, which is another new single that just came out. And
okay.
I don't know, he was a pleasure to work with, and we really loved the fact that he was like, hey, you know, let's get a chance to showcase DC the way we did, and we're pretty proud of it because
it came out great. I love it.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of bands, like, you know, really doing stuff like that, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe it was kind of going the Americana route, but really I thought, like, you know, getting the Black Cat, but getting, like, you know, the what did we get, the Thomas Jefferson Memorial and all that. It's just kind of like a really cool ode to the city.
Absolutely. So the single's out. I guess you said Chocolate Date, another one that came out. Do you actually have a full album that's coming out eventually through Open Your Ears record, or
yeah,
EP?
so we've got an EP that's dropping this Friday.
This Friday, nice.
It's coming out. This might be coming out, this podcast, after it's out. So go stream it, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Very cool.
Yeah, linktree.com/Dear Spring, DEAR Spring.
Very cool. I was gonna say, oh yeah, so you got 2 shows coming up. I saw you got one in Philly and DC, I think June, July. Anything else in the works you're allowed to talk about?
Yeah, we're actually announcing later today, which is not the day you're listening again.
Yeah.
We've got a run coming up at the end of June with our friends in the Bronze Age, who are down from North Carolina. Well, they're coming up, but we're going down. We're going to be playing at the Milestone in Charlotte, North Carolina on June 23rd. Then we'll be playing at Scandals Live on June 24th in Virginia Beach with them. And then we'll be rounding it out in Rockville, Maryland at Twin Valley Distillers on June 25th, Saturday. So,
cool.
Yeah, tickets are up.
Uh-oh. I'm sorry, did you say tickets are on sale now? Kind of cut off.
Yeah, they're available. The link in our link tree.
Okay, gotcha. Very nice. All right, well, cool, guys. Well, hopefully you make it down here to Orlando sometime so I can see you live. So.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. That'd be great.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me, and we'll talk down the road. All right.
Sounds good, Steve.
All right, we'll do. Thanks, Steven.
Right, man.